We're joined now by David Dunn. He's a professor of international relations at the University of Birmingham. Good to have you back with us, Professor. Even in a year of rapid succession legal reckonings for Donald Trump, the newest charges on the face of it seem more damning. So what makes this indictment more consequential?
There's a variety of factors that you rightly say mean that this is much more important. The suggestion, first of all, was that he actually committed these crimes while he was president of the United States. Secondly, it goes to the heart of the democracy that he actually tried, allegedly, to overturn the election results. So there's nothing more fundamental in a democracy than trying to subvert the result of the electoral process. And thirdly, he is in a sense, denying the legitimacy of the legal process and politicising the whole thing, rather than fighting this as a prosecution and responding to the evidence. He's trying to politicise this and portray it as a persecution, and therefore attempting to put the whole electoral process on trial as well as himself during this year. And then the last thing, the fact that it's happening in an election year. What Donald Trump is trying to do is turn the election into a contest, a trial, if you like, of the legal process rather than of the two candidates. It's so important to him because really the choice that Trump faces is getting into the Oval Office to be in a position to try and make these charges go away by perhaps pardoning himself or going to jail. So the stakes are huge. And the stakes are much more problematic for America because large sections of the American population and large sections of the Republican Party are supporting him rather than the legal process. So it's massively dividing and massively problematic for America's trust in its democracy and its legal system.
Yes, and for his part, Donald Trump took almost a bring-it-on approach to these latest charges. He's insisted that this case and other cases are part of a witch hunt against him. But the special counsel was at pains to stress that Trump is innocent until proven guilty, but he's also been very detailed about these latest charges, releasing a 45-page indictment. How much credibility and validity do you think there is to the special counsel's investigation and these charges? Will they stick, in your view?
I think the fact that it's taken so long, in fact, Trump in one of his announcements said, why has it taken 2.5 years? Well, it's taken 2.5 years because they've been very methodical, meticulous, and building the case. There are 6 unnamed co-defendants who may well have given evidence against Trump, and they were at the heart of his operation throughout this period. There's clearly evidence from his former Vice President Mike Pence testifying against Trump's efforts to subvert the democratic process. So I think that, and the fact that it is so controversial would mean that the special counsel would not have brought this case if he didn't think he had a slam dunk set of evidence to support that case and to prove the point, because there'd be nothing worse, in a sense, than actually having a prosecution that failed. It's high stakes for Trump, but high stakes for the democracy, and therefore it's likely that this case is one which they feel that they could not avoid taking and cannot afford to fail, and therefore the case will most likely be fairly damning in its evidence.
And how do you think these latest charges might affect his electability? I mean, firstly, will he be able to become the presidential nominee even if he gets enough support?
Well, there's nothing in the Constitution to stop him being either the nominee or indeed elected president or running for president, even if you're a criminal. The Constitution didn't envisage there being anyone of this sort of character who would run for or be supported for running for election. The Constitution only requires that you be born in the United States and be over 35. It says nothing about whether you're in jail or a convicted felon or not. But one of the perverse things is that actually the fact that Trump has been so much in the press, so much in the limelight, is that support for him has increased over the period of his tribulations. He has managed to actually try and portray himself as some sort of martyr, as a victim, and his cult-like followers within the Republican Party have responded to that by, rather than believing in the legal system and in the fairness of that to give him a fair trial, they're prepared instead to believe his version of reality and to support him over the legal system. So Trump's managed to undermine faith in the democracy, and now he's doing it with regard to the legal system. And what you have as a consequence is a highly polarized country, with half the people now being suspicious of their institutions as a government. And that's a very dangerous consequence of the actions following Donald Trump's alleged crimes and the prosecution of those alleged crimes.
Okay, Professor David Dunn, we will have to leave it there, but thanks so much for sharing your analysis with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.